or is it game 2 tonight on NBA TV? I guess at least he's wearing a shirt under the jacket for game 2.
I'll take that, man. That shirtless look, man. I thought it was a Rick James video or something.
Man.
And Donovan Mitchell, he is ready to go tonight. Left foot contusion had him questionable, but as you can see, he's warming up. He will play, and so will we. It's the Auto Trader pregame heading into game 2. And hello again, basketball fans. Welcome to the Auto Trader pregame. Rick Kamla, first team all defense, Tony Allen.
First team.
Ryan Hollins, and we have David Griffin, NBA executive for a long, long time. And we have a killer game for you tonight. Game 2, Jazz at Thunder. Game 1 was 116-108, the result in favor of the Thunder. And let's talk about Paul George here because he exploded in game 1, 36 points, tied a franchise record in the playoffs with 8 threes. And Joe Ingles actually did a decent job, guarded him 35 times, gave up only 10 points. Royce O'Neal guarded him 19 times, and he was hit for 15 points and embarrassed a time or two by the great Paul George as well. And here's Quinn Snyder pregame talking about possible adjustments for game 2.
You know, I think we did some of the things that road teams have to do to win. You can't turn it over. You can't give up easy baskets, and you got to make some shots. That was a strange series last year because of all the injuries on both sides, and Rudy went out, and then Blake went out, and so on and so forth. So, if I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't tell you anyway. Just try to go do it.
Quinn Snyder typically coy about delivering adjustments to the media. Dennis Scott knows all about that. He will be in the house tonight working the sidelines for for NBA TV. Spiro Ditas and Mike Fratello will be there as well. DZ, it's great to see you. We're talking about Mitchell. We're talking about Westbrook. We're talking about George. I want to talk with you about the Mellow Man, Carmelo Anthony. Did you think he was as effective as he needed to be for the Thunder in game 1?
Rick, I thought Melo was perfect. Obviously, all season long, Melo was taking the biggest sacrifice, taking less shots, playing the 4 position and kind of going with the flow. So when you look at that first quarter, Melo was the one that was knocking down a few shots, kind of keeping OKC afloat as Utah got out to a fast start, 16-4. So I wasn't mad at Melo. I thought Melo was patient. Obviously, Russ was Russ about the ball game. Of course, we know Paul George got hot and kind of finished out the ball game. But as you look at these plays right here, I thought Melo was fine, not forcing things. Rick, I think people are not used to seeing this kind of Melo being so patient.
What up, D. Scott? This is your boy T.A.
Lock him up, lock him up.
Yes, sir. My whole thing was just looking at the Jazz, though, right now. With Ricky Rubio, I'm looking at the stat sheet. He took 18 shots. I'm wondering, would he be more of a facilitator today? Turn down probably about 6-7 of those shots to give him a better look at the rim, or what we gonna do with Rubio today?
That's a great question, Dave, because I asked the same question to Quinn Snyder earlier, and they thought Rubio got the same kind of shots he had been getting all season long. He was just missing them. Now, when they made that big run, 16-4, they come out of the timeout. They thought Rubio can be a little tougher on the defensive end, get in the pass lane and get a few more steals, because we don't give Ricky a lot of credit for being in the pass lane and getting steals. They want to be more aggressive on the defensive end.
3D, I'm going to take Tony's bait. I'm going to go with another Spaniard here. Alex Abrinas and that entire bench for OKC were really, really solid in game 1. They had not been as good through parts of the regular season. What did you see there, and what are they talking about now in terms of their ability to keep that going?
Strictly ball movement, Griff. That was one of the things that all season long, the OKC Thunder is not one of those teams you think of as ball movement. So with the second unit, Billy Donovan believes that when the ball goes from one side of the floor to the other, and when Paul George or Melo, one of those guys are hot, you get Abrinas and guys like that in the corner getting wide open threes. They're going to look for more shots like that again tonight.
3D, what's up, baby? Ryan Hollins here.
The human pogo stick.
My man. When you trade for Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, we all went crazy. Is this the team we've been waiting on, or is this fool's gold? Tell me.
No, it's not fool's gold. When you talk about Paul George, he kind of warned OKC and the media that it's a different guy. And that's the whole playoff P comes from, because he knows how to take his game to another level. And to your question, this is the team when you say Russell had his numbers, Paul George had a great game, and once again, Melo kind of went with the flow. And don't forget, Steven Adams had his impact on the game too, rebounding, even though he had a huge rebounding game, but getting big rebounds down the stretch and obviously blocking a few shots.
Dennis, let's talk about Paul George in terms of playoff P. Now, this nickname was brought up in the presser after the Game 1 victory, and Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony, they kind of laughed and scoffed. I don't even think they knew what that nickname was. Where did it come from, 3D?
Well, it came from Saturday at the media day, because you know me, Rick, I get to practice early and make sure I get a comfy position.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm in my comfy position. I said, Paul, you ready to go? He goes, 3D, did you see me catch that big fish the other day? I said, of course. I follow you on social media. He said, well, playoff P's going to show up. I'm going to show the people how I take my game to another level. So I talked to Paul George again a few seconds ago. I said, Paul, you had 2 days off. What did you do? I went fishing. The fish wasn't as big, but I did have a good day at the pond, so to speak. So I look for Paul George, a.k.a. playoff P, to have another good game tonight.
So maybe instead of 36, he has 29. You know, maybe a slight downgrade in this fish story we're telling.
Maybe 30, 32, maybe 7 steals instead of 8 threes.
I tell you what, Thunder fan would certainly take that. Dennis, can't thank you enough, man. We look forward to you and Czar and Spiro on the call on NBA TV tonight. I know you'll have fun.
You know I'm going to have fun. I love all you guys back in the studio.
Much love. Right back to you, the great Dennis Scott. And Jazz and Thunder coming up here in moments, top of the hour on NBA TV. So what about playoff P? Do you like that? Is it original enough, TA?
It's very trendy, I could say.
Trendy?
Yeah, playoff P sounds nice. I could have took that name.
So we know
Playoff P.
we know TA, we know Grindfather. And be careful. There might be kids watching. But is there some other kind of playoff nickname you might have had, TA?
No. Grandfather just hit the whole plateau right there.
First team, dog. First team. Come on.
Are we really going to sit here this long and not jump on 3D for actually making it sound a little bit like he originated that nickname?
He sure did. Yeah, he did.
Y'all heard what happened there, right? He said,
I
I was talking to him and he told me playoff P. Keep that in mind.
Hey, man, if you like it, I love it. But there's swaggy P, there's pleasure P. Well, I mean, playoff P is, you know what? Whoever the better P is going to get the credit.
I love it, man. I love it. Ryan, take me into the middle, man. Steven Adams, hard-nosed guy. Rudy Gobert, he's my choice for Defensive Player of the Year this year. Talk about that head-to-head matchup.
Horrible matchup for Gobert. Gobert has to get the spots and use his length. But the one thing you hate as a long-rangey center, as I am, is a strong guy who can get up under you. And that's what Steven Adams has been able to do. He's physical. He's been playing at a playoff pace all season long. And this is new territory for Gobert.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good point. And I think the thing that Adams does that's so significant is he will literally, as he rolls, wipe out an entire side. And he's so physical. Rudy is so slight. It's not a great matchup on the defensive side for Rudy.
Tony, as you look at these teams right here, you know, Utah and the Thunder, do any of the players jump out in terms of reminding you of you? Do you see, oh, man, I could have played with that. That guy reminds me of Tony Allen.
No, not on. Well, Corey Brewer, he kind of give you the shadow of that. If I could go with anybody, no, they don't fit the bill.
And he's not even being shady. You're not even being shady with that, are you?
No, that man. I give it to Jay Crowder.
Okay.
Jay Crowder.
Okay, he's got that dog in him, doesn't he?
Salute Jay.
So does this guy, TA.
Westbrook, he got a pit bull.
Game 2 coming up on NBA TV.
Yes.